Lots of room. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Letty Conrad. Thank you for joining our ambitious 90-minute session where we hope you will meet and engage with the users who are being channeled through three UX practitioners who are experts in getting to understand more about the academic information user, and we're going to talk about personas and that method. What we're going to try to do is, like I said, a little bit ambitious. Whatever your current level of UX research experience, whatever your opinion about the validity or value of UX research, our goal is to bring to life the voices of many of the key information users that we all serve in the academic space. Our goal is to have our UX experts both talk to you about the method of a user persona, how they apply it to their work, and also the findings of that work. So we're both doing methodology as well as content. And instead of just speaking abstractly about our users, our three fantastic panelists have agreed to try something slightly different and actually embody that persona so that we can engage with those users directly. Our goal, as I said, is to demonstrate both the method and the findings. Our hope is to channel the voices, the needs, the motivations of information users and bring them right here in the room with us. We could have recruited an undergraduate student and a graduate student and a postdoc or a librarian or faculty member, but instead I wanted to demonstrate the kinds of methods that we can all be applying in our work every day to keep users at the forefront of our business decisions and our organizational strategy. And instead of speaking directly to those users, we're going to talk to folks who have created expert personas about them. And so we're going to try a role play. We have three presentations that are going to focus on the method and the focus, the projects that were used, and then we'll have this sort of interaction with the users, and then we'll also do just some plain old regular Q&A about the method and the practitioners themselves. So here's what we have planned. I'm going to start with a couple of introductory comments about the user persona method and what that entails just generally, and then we'll hear from each of our experts. So Deirdre Costello is the Director of UX Research at EBSCO, and she'll start us off. Alexa Pierce is Head of Social Sciences at University of Michigan Library, and Gabe Hart, Senior Product Manager, yeah? Did I get that right? At Cell Press. He's like, I'll take whatever promotion you want to give me.
It's called a pinch hitter earlier.
A pinch hitter, indeed. So then our panel is, as I said, going to assume the personas that they've developed. They've each picked one from the series of personas that the organizations have developed, and they're going to embody them, and we'll go through that role play. And we're trying this. It's new. It may flop. It may impress, but I guarantee you'll have learned something that you didn't know when you woke up this morning. So let's begin with what the heck a persona is. So this comes to us essentially from user-centered design or design thinking, specifically human-computer interaction design. And the experts in the HCI space have defined personas as an archetypal representation of a group of users with common goals, attitudes, and behaviors when interacting with a given product. So used really as a communication tool or a development tool, personas really can be a tactile method in the course of product development or product enhancement. It's a method that helps keep our users central to our conversations, central to our decision making. Personas are often representing the findings of original UX research where other methods would have been applied, right? So focus groups, interviews, surveys, maybe content analysis, various kinds of methods to unearth those findings. And the personas are essentially a way of encapsulating them and applying them to our work. So I wanted to point out usability.gov is one of those sites that I go to regularly when I'm applying a new UX method or I'm trying to refine my own practitioner skills. They've put together 5 steps in creating a user persona, and I think it's just useful to kind of think about the basics of what it takes to create a persona. We're not creating these cards out of imagination or stereotype. We really are basing them on research findings. So the first step in creating a persona is to conduct your user research. So we're asking the basic questions. Who are they? What do they care about? What are their motivations, their assumptions, their behaviors? And then we condense that research. We look for themes and characteristics that are specific and contextual to the work that we do and the products we're putting in the market. Then we use the personas as a framework, and we brainstorm and organize the elements of the persona that matter to our organization to represent the target users and classify them into specific groups that help us make sense of that. Then fourth, refining, so combining and prioritizing those rough personas, separating them into primary, secondary, or tertiary to provide a sort of hierarchy or prioritization. And then the final step in creating a persona is to be sure that they are realistic. Again, not a stereotype, but actually based on real people. And the more kind of messy human nuance you can give to a persona, the more empathy it will generate, the more realism it will generate. So this is one example. The USDA put this together with their web team at the Economic Research Service. And this is just one example. Other teams use personas sort of as flashcards with certain information on the front and the back of these flashcards that can be easily shared and used reused amongst development teams. So I've heard a lot of naysaying about personas, and I think it's important, based on my experience anyway, and these folks may have different perspectives. I'm confident that they will bring different perspectives to this question, but I think user personas are valuable in specific situations, in specific portions of the life cycle. Personas have proven valuable in human-computer interaction design or web design, we know that, but it's also proving to be valuable as an extension to human information design. So it's really bringing in some of the qualitative aspects of UX research. No method is perfect, and no method is going to serve all of your needs, but I think it's important to see personas as serving design purposes within a product team, oftentimes at the beginning planning stages of a project. So really good formative sort of foundations for our product strategy and service strategy. It's easy to make personas a bit oversimplified. In fact, I think that's the one critique I've heard most often, is they're just too darn generic. It's important that we not perpetuate unhealthy stereotypes, and that we are sure that personas are representing that nuance and the humanity that lies behind the users that we serve, and not that they are watered down versions of real people, but that we really are highlighting the relevant aspects of their experience with information. So for our purposes today, I urge you to suspend any disbelief you may have brought into the room and just for a short time consider personas as a useful entry point for the product design journey, often best placed at that beginning planning stage. So with that, and this will be my little placeholder, I'm going to bring up Deirdre's slides and we'll